Hello, hello. How are you doing today? It's Tanya Dantas, here again, your host. We made it. It is day 9. It is the solar tone as I let the sun shine on me. How are you guys doing? How's this wave spell been for you? It's been pretty intense for me. I'm sipping on my oat straw tea. I love oat straw. Hey, who's on? Just getting started. Say hi. So we're on day 9. And hey, there's another person. Hey, say hi. I want to know who's on. So we're on day 9. Woohoo! Dina on that. Woohoo! Solar Skywalker nonetheless. Oh my gosh, right? I feel like so perfect, right? We've been all the things we've been talking about, but what I love is it's just like it's so reflects how I feel. Like that's what I love about the calendar. And it sometimes is a little in my face and I'm like, oh my God, it's almost triggering because it's so in my face. So this Skywalker energy is all about, I was talking a lot about it in module 4 yesterday, but basically it's a lot about being that empty reed. It's kind of like a vessel, but beyond a vessel, like a vehicle for the divine in the planet. So you're uniting the divine and the grounded, right? Like the earthly. What made me kind of hesitate is I'm kind of blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, now that I'm thinking about it, it makes so much sense. Okay, I'm going to catch you up to what I'm thinking in here. So I feel like it kind of describes what I do with people as a coach, but I hadn't ever articulated it that way. So as I was saying it, I was learning myself. That's what it's kind of all about, because the Skywalker is in the archetypes, the channeler in a sense, right? And of course, in its shadow, it's resistance, right? The shadow of being that vehicle and that messenger is being in resistance to it. And I was totally going through my share of that today. And I did my post about it on the human day, right? It's you start to see how they're connected. It's like a slow progression through different energies. They're not totally unrelated things. They're related, but it's like an awakening, or it's like a blossoming, right? Through the cycle. That's why I love going through the cycle with people, the whole Solkin, because it's you start to get a feel for the energy instead of just it being a mental thing. It's like a feeling. Do you feel me on that? You know what I'm saying? I'm about to close that blind because it is so bright. Hold on. It's so bright. I'm getting too hot. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Just need to get it to there. It's not doing it. Okay, I'm gonna have to do. Okay, I can't. I made it worse. There. Okay, that's better. Okay, I've been having an allergic reaction and my lips have been swollen 3 times their size this whole wave spell. Woo! So it's been intense to say the least. My lips have shed skin 20 times. Wow. Yeah, and I mean it's very body stuff, right? In psychology, it kind of reminds me. I mean, I'm not analyzing it, but it just made me think. I associated with it there's this kind of somaticizing things, and so we might say well, what do the lips represent, or what are you holding back in what you're saying or whatever. And so the serpent is so much the body, and I know you're a dancer, Dina, and so it's such an invitation. I know I felt this wave spell the other day. I have my morning workout, but then I don't know if it's the heat, the wave spell, a combination of all of it, but I was feeling extra heat in my body, and I needed to do an additional workout, just dancing and free movement and Zumba type, just fun, because I have what can turn into aggression in my body if I don't move it and shake it. And so I feel the snake definitely has themes of that, of how the body interplays with the moon day the other day that we had, the overtone moon day. So the body things, we need to be purifying our emotions to, I mean, how can we not talk about emotions if we're talking about the body, right? Like it's our vessel. It's like where it's home. It's like where we do tune into like our guidance system, our GPS, right? So I'm sorry to hear you've been having that, Dina. That sounds really uncomfortable. And yeah, but it sounds like you're doing well. You've totally been a rock star and showing up in this group. Totally. Oh my gosh, you've participated hardcore. So you're the same way with your workouts. Totally. Oh my God, if I don't work out, and sometimes I need to like work out more, like I was saying. So in my other live, I was talking about how, you know, resistance shows up, the human day, right? Which was just yesterday. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Galactic human, I need to harmonize through making the choice to do the things that help me feel better, like eating right, working out. And sometimes I amaze myself with how much I can resist doing those things. Like today was another thing. And it's what I was coming back to is the shadow aspect of the Skywalker. And hey, I'm so glad you guys are on here. So like the shadow of that is the resistance, and the light manifestation of Skywalker is to recognize ourselves as the vehicle of the divine. And I feel like this is such a great medicine for our collective, you know, like really seeing ourselves as part of an interconnected web, right? And the solar is about doing, it's about pulsing, it's about, so like the sun, it's always just shining, you know. Does it ever stop? It doesn't like say, well, tomorrow I'm not going to rise. It just always is. And so it's the tone of doing. And in the Serpent of the Wavespell, we're going to pulse and realize through that being a vehicle, like not letting our preferences or our fears stop us. And so that takes the kind of work I do as a coach, right? It takes looking at our fears, facing our fears, being aware of them. Sometimes we have blind spots as human beings and we don't see them ourselves. We need someone to reflect them to us. I had a whole thing earlier about that. And we all need that. It's not like some of us need that. We all need to have our blind spots reflected to us. And otherwise, you know, we keep bumping up against the same darn things. And you know what I'm talking about, right? That happened to you guys? Those patterns that bite you in the butt? I mean, I know it happens to me. And then I gotta, you know, get on paper and do some journaling and like really look at some fears, or, you know, work with a coach or work with someone, you know, have a good talk with a friend. And sometimes I don't like what I hear, you know, talk to my higher power, talk to God, universe, whatever you want to call it yourself, but, you know, listen to what's happening. I've done a lot of different things. I've used a lot of different tools, the work by Byron Katie, 12-step programs, all kinds of stuff, and in many ways. And something I love about the 12 steps is that they say, you know, if you just stop, you're resting on your laurels. Like, it doesn't, we have this kind of idea that we get there someday, right? I love this Skywalker with it, that one day, you know, once I take this course, then I'll be perfect and it's done. And the thing is that we're kind of lazy. We don't want to, like, why do I have to work out every day? Or why do I have to like make the right food every day? Or why do I have to like, you know, do the work to build my list or do this or that? But I think what really helps us here is to, again, connect in to like the divine part, like the greater picture. Like, how is what we're doing actually like serving on a whole different level? I know for me, like if you're here, you're probably like me in that sense that like just making money isn't enough of a motivator. Like, let me know how, you know, if that's true or not for you. But for me, like I have to be connected to like some kind of spiritual, I'm kind of like as Gabby Bernstein coined the term, a spirit junkie. I need to have that like spiritual connection. So red solar Skywalker is, again, like bringing the spirit into the earthly stuff and also bringing the earthly into the spirit. What do I mean by that? Like I said, connecting in and like, what is my greater intention in spirit? But as the great expression, like as you pray, like move your feet. Like it can't always be all like, you know, nice prayers and intentions. Like we got to take action that is aligned with our truth. Passion. So Dina's saying passion moves me, nothing else. Yeah, well, that's like my soul mission, totally. Yeah, so it's about connecting with that. So the energy for today is like about connecting, so taking our actions based on that connection with, you know, your mission, your soul mission, your higher power, your higher self, God's will for you, and noticing the resistance that can come up, and just like laughing about it, and like, well, you don't have to laugh about it, but I'm choosing to laugh right now, and like doing it anyway, like looking at like what's the fear underneath anyway, or doing whatever work you want to do to like get past the obstacle and move forward and do it. The Skywalker. So facing our fears, getting into new territories, getting out of our comfort zone. The Skywalker is all about facing fear, so like and like exploring space, right? And like, so moving out of our comfort zones, and the solar tone is about pulsing and doing. So that combination is very like kind of getting out of that like normal space. So we have heard it. So let's go out and do it. And let me know what action you're going to take today that's going to get you out of your comfort zone. And if you don't know it yet, but you notice throughout your day, like there it is, write it in the comments. I know that for me, like I've been really working on growing my community, and it's like kind of, there's been a lot of resistance for me in that, because I'm like business crap, blah, 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 like too much routine, like all this stuff. But I work with someone that I trust very much, and she's all about ritual and all this stuff. And she's also very grounded. And she shows me that in order to like fulfill the mission and vision that I have and contribute to the vision of the planet that I have, this is the kind of stuff I have to do. And then when I realized, like, oh my God, I have to get on with people. The video stops. Does the video stop, Dina? Oh wait, no, sorry, I didn't read there was another. I have a little of the opposite issue. I don't know how to stop doing. I'm constantly doing. How do I slow down before I break myself? Seems to be the only thing that stops me is when I'm so broken that I can't do anymore. Well, I'm gonna, so like in that sense, just to finish my thought, just so I don't like leave everything, so I'm in integrity. Yeah, so like connecting to our vision, connecting to my vision, I have to take those small actions, and like I get to get on with people and build relationships, which is fucking awesome. And so like it's not what I even think it is. Like it's just a concept. So Gina, for you, what I'm thinking, no, don't apologize. I'm sorry. I shouldn't read them because I get distracted until I finish the thought, but I'm so excited to connect with you guys that I read them. Okay, so here's what I would say. I think there's two different kinds. What I think I hear you saying is that you feel that you don't slow down in a way that harms you. So in a way that, you know, maybe you get to a place where you're fatigued, or you get to a point where, you know, you you've kind of lost your center, or I don't know, is this what am I getting it? Because there's the kind of people who just don't stop doing and they're fine. But what it sounds like you're saying is like there's a little bit of an issue here. Like you're doing, but at some point you're overdoing, or maybe your boundaries aren't, you know, up in a way that is true to yourself, so that you sustain like your energy. Yeah, give me a little bit more info, Dina. And so we're going a little bit beyond the red solar Skywalker, but I think it's important to like, these kinds of questions always came up going into the Mayan calendar and the archetypes, and it's like we need to, the whole point of it is to be able to have conversations about this stuff. So I'm very happy to go into this. Literally my back has to go out for me to realize I'm doing too much. Okay, so from what you are saying, you yourself thinks you're doing too much. Like I'm not, you know, it's you know you are. So here's what I would say to you, Dina. So I have permission to coach you right now. I have permission to go a little deeper with you. I'm assuming from your question. So what I would do is I would do a little journaling, a little exploration with myself. And this is more of what I do more in a Wild and Awakened Women group. So I actually would ask you to like come into that group because yeah, I think you'll like it too. Why are you, like, why do you feel that you need to do so much? Like, who do you need to impress? And you don't have to share right now here in the comments. I think that would be like a little much, but like I would journal about it. Like where does that impulse, how does it really feel for you to feel that, you know, when you really look at that, like I feel like I have to break my back to realize I'm doing too much. How does that feel for you? It sounds like there's some emotion there. There could be some emotion there. And then where does that come from? Is that something you recognize from, you know, one, there's so much to do and no one else is doing it. Okay. So I would look at that as like, I'm not saying that's true or not true, but like as like write that down, put it to the side, and like look deeper. Like when did this start? Look deeper. Like write one thing down, put it to the side, and where does this come from? It's a story, okay? Where does that story come from? You know, because that's important. Our stories are our stories. I'm not one of those like just get rid of it, like landmark. Like, yeah, like we can shift our stories, but they're there for a reason. Like, where does that come from? So honoring, where does it come from? Oh my gosh, and I have to go very soon, so I just want to be mindful. I have to get off in like a minute or two. Where does it come from? What does it remind you? And like talk to it. Like you do body work and somatic work and dancing and stuff like this. So like talk to this. What is the fear that's underneath that keeps you going? Like what's going to happen if you stop? What will happen? Because I bet you anything there's a fear there. And I want you to look at the fear and talk to the fear and see what the fear is there to tell you. And then I'm going to have to stop there because this is a little bit, no one will help or do shit for you. Good. So go with that. And I think this is a good, what I would do is I think let's do a post over in the Wild and Awakened Women group, because this is totally the kind of stuff that we go into over there. So if you feel like going over there, we'll start a thread with this and like we can keep going with that. Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to. And I would definitely keep journaling on that and get like deeper and really get to know the fear and step into that. I think there's a lot there for you, Dina. Okay, so sounds juicy. And everyone else, I think this is helpful for you as well, because you can think, how can I apply this to myself? How do I keep doing in order to, you know, maintain what? Or, you know, who am I trying to please? Or what am I trying to, you know, not have break? Or apply it to yourself. How could you apply it? And I want to hear about it in the comments. And again, tell me about how what actions you're taking that are helping you to explore. I think Dina really did it. She explored. You reaching out is breaking through the no one will help or do shit for me, right? All right. See you. Bye, Dina. Bye.